As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I know the game didn't go the way he wanted it to, but I got to go with Baker Mayfield. I mean, is there a better consolation than hanging out and partying with Ric Flair?
Did you see? You saw that tweet? I'm assuming
Oh,
then.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, that was awesome. What a brutal way to end that game. Otherwise, great game, awesome back and forth. Um, but man, that I hated the way it closed off for Baker because it's the last thing you're going to remember about his season that otherwise was awesome.
Just a bad throw at the end.
Yep.
I feel like ball's going the right place. Just he was so good on the drive before.
Yeah.
Just dart after dart after dart, and for the Lions to not finish the job and leave the door open for him, man, that was brutal
Yep.
because he
Brutal.
played well. He played well, man.
Yeah, he played well. I still think that the conversation about Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay is like they've got to extend him. I would be shocked if they didn't. I mean, there's nowhere else to go for him. So they're going to extend Baker. He's going to make a bunch of money. And, they still have a ton of cap space available to go out and add some pieces. And, we'll see what happens with them in the draft. But was a really good football game. How about the back and forth late? I mean, all of a sudden it just looked like I don't know, old school Big 12 game there in the fourth quarter, up and down the field for both teams. That was fun.
Yeah, I thought Jared Goff was really good.
Yeah.
I
He showed
think
off
that
some of his arm talent, didn't he?
yeah, and Jameer Gibbs is he the most sudden guy in the NFL other than Tyreek Hill?
Yeah. I mean, he gets going north and south. He's got great change of direction, runs through tackles, but, he's great, but it starts with that offensive line. That offensive line is tough, man. They did a good job building that team from the inside out on both sides of the ball.
I think that you could see the difference. Goff was well protected. Lions did a really nice job up front, identifying pressures, getting everything blocked up. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, it was clear whether it was the offensive line or Baker, like they just were not on the same page when it came to how they were picking up some of those pressures that the Lions were bringing. They struggled in empty protection. Baker struggled knowing it looked like he was struggling knowing who the unblocked guy was going to be and like when he needed to get the ball out. It was strange to see.
Yeah. Well, somehow it felt like the unblocked guy always ended up being the best defensive player on the other side of the ball.
Which sometimes you got to break some rules and you got to send the three-man slide that way and let the other two guys go two for the most dangerous two on that side and go two on
Yeah.
three. But yeah, leaving Aiden Hutchinson unblocked, unabated to the quarterback is a strategy.
Which I am really impressed with how good he is. He looks like he's getting better and better. He's got a great get off. He's incredibly strong. I don't know. Like one of the first plays of the game, the first series for them defensively, he came off and just like two-hand punched that right tackle in the pads and sent him like going backwards. I was like, that may be a long day, but what a well played game on both sides of the ball. It was plenty of exciting stuff up and down the field. And how about Detroit, man? Impressive.
Our former employer headed to the NFC Championship game. It was kind of a win-win for us.
Yeah,
It was, hey, if the Bucks win, we're super happy for Baker. If the Lions win, we both played there. Those fans are fantastic. It's been a long, long time, and Dan Campbell's the man. So it was a wildly entertaining football game.
it was. And you know, I it this is not like at least I got to be careful, but this doesn't feel like a one-off fluke for Detroit. They are set up. They've got some really good, really young players, and they're in a good position. They got a good quarterback. You mentioned how good Goff was. His deal's not ridiculous, I don't think. I have to go back and look at it, but he's under contract, so it feels like they're set up for some long-term success.
I love how aggressive Campbell was in some of those spots, like going for it on 4th and 1 with a little over 3.5 minutes to go
Mm-hmm.
there in the third quarter. Just no hesitation. That that instills confidence in those guys. Now, the only other thing from this game, big analytics debate there when the Bucks chose to go for 2, and everyone was going, "What are you doing?" But
Including me. I don't. I mean,
I I understand the probability and the percentages, and that the sheet, the book, whatever you want to call it, says go for 2 right there. But I remain adamant that analytics doesn't factor in vibes all the time. And the vibes were high if you just kick the extra point there. Everyone's feeling good about things, but they didn't get it. And just goal line fade. How about that? How about the call on the two
yeah,
point conversion? That was, oof.
I missed it. They score the touchdown. I walk out of the room, and I come back. It's like, what? What happened? What happened? What's going on here? I don't get that at all. I mean, I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe in analytics, but whenever they tell me that, I say the whole system is screwed.
Ultimately ended up getting the ball back,
Yeah.
and just unfortunate that Baker wasn't able to put the drive together to make it a really, really suspenseful ending.
Yeah, I know, but still a great game. And like I said, a hangout with Ric Flair is a hell of a consolation prize for Bake.
Yeah, I pulled up the tweet. He said, Baker Mayfield, we've only we've only met once. As of today, I have so much respect for you and the Buccaneers. You played your heart out. You are a badass. I live in Tampa. I don't have your number. I would love to hang out with you. You're such a badass. I'm so proud to say that I'm a Buccaneers fan. To the whole Buccaneers team, God bless you. You went places you weren't supposed to go. Next year, let's kick ass. Finishes it with a woo. I can't do it. I can't do the Ric Flair woo. I've
Yeah,
tried. I don't have it in me, but that it is pretty good. And he attached a picture of Baker to it, which is pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah, that's cool. That was a, a nice run by the Bucks, not expected. Whenever they kind of like as the offseason unfolded, it felt like this is kind of a bridge year to try and get us to something else. And played good ball. Went through a little bit of struggles there mid to late season, but pushed through it. Won a playoff game. Had a really good chance at a second one, but all in all, really good season for Baker in Tampa Bay. He made a lot of money this year.
Which is it's very important. I'm happy for him. I think this year will end up being labeled as a massive success for Baker Mayfield.
Yes. Yep.
And now he's friends with Ric Flair, apparently. So sweet.
There you go. There you go.
Did Tampa not have a timeout at the end of the game? Did you see that? Detroit took a knee. The graphic said they had a timeout. I'm just guessing the graphic was wrong because they could have called a timeout and made them either, I can't remember what yard line they were on, either a field goal attempt or a punt. They didn't use the timeout. The graphic, the score bug definitely said they had a timeout.
I don't know. I
It's hard
guess
to think that that was the case, right?
or they just threw in the towel. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Buffalo Bills.
Mm.
What the hell happened in that football game? What did I just watch? Uh, I you're going right down the field. You got the thing. You got at least a tie in the bag. They got way too conservative, and I don't know. I say too conservative. maybe too aggressive. I don't know. Allen was just kind of whipping the ball down the field there. I They had plenty of time to just continue to march the football like they have been the entire day, and they leave it up to the kicker. And that looked like a very poor tee shot that just. Whoosh, I mean, it was in and then it was gone. That was crazy. But
Left the club face open,
left the
or
club face open. That, that was nuts. But, you know, special teams wise, it's almost like because they got away with that horrendous fake punt. What is happening with that fake punt?
so this is kind of what my thought process was. I think it was 4th and 5. And I would assume McDermott's thinking was our defense is not stopping the Chiefs. We got to steal an extra possession right here. But if that's your line of thinking, man, just leave Josh Allen out on the field. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just leave your best player out on the field and put it in his hands. Don't snap it to DeMar Hamlin on a fake punt. And that thing was dead the entire time. That thing was, and that was not a DeMar Hamlin joke. People don't try to pin that on me. It was not. I did. The play was dead instantly. I mean, there's penetration everywhere. It was just a horrible play.
Horrible play. And they got away with it. But it came back on that field goal. But another great game. I mean, tough, physical football game. Both teams running the ball like crazy. Josh Allen was, a big threat with the running in the running game. That was a lot of fun. There were some high level throws, and a lot of them didn't even get caught.
The one that Josh Allen had to Stephon Diggs where he didn't catch it, I was impressed that the cameraman kept it in the frame.
Yeah.
That thing, I mean, it looked like he shot it out of a t-shirt cannon. That was an unbelievable throw.
Yeah.
But I would say when you look at that game, the biggest winner is Mecole Hardman. Because if they wouldn't have pulled it out, what are you doing reaching the ball out? It's first down, brother.
Crazy.
First of all, why are they giving Mecole Hardman the ball down there anyways? Just give it to Pacheco and let him do his high knees and run dudes over into the end zone. He was just a freight train in that game.
He was late. I mean, after the missed field goal, I mean, you got an opportunity to stop him. Like, we know what's coming. They're running the football, and he runs right through the middle of everyone for a 9-yard gain on first down. And at that point, forget about it.
Patrick Mahomes is pretty good on the road in the playoffs.
He was clean. He was efficient. Made some really nice plays, smart throws. He had a couple of really nice balls out there on the perimeter that he threw. High level quarterback play going on in that one. That was fun.
And the wide receivers caught the rock, made plays on the football for him, and you may want to cover Travis Kelce. How you leave that guy wide open? Not entirely sure how that happens.
It's a mystery. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. Every week, like whenever everything is on the line, there's 87 running down the field with no one within, like no one's even in the screen covering him. It's crazy.
I feel for Buffalo fans. Wide right. That
they
hurts.
were throwing the ice at the wrong team at the end of the game.
That's true. Did you see Chris Jones?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a scene in Orchard Park tonight. There are gonna be people drinking their sorrows away. It's gonna be a little dicey there.
Yeah. Hey, we even had a Kelsey brother making the whole thing about themselves. This time it was Jason. It always happens, which my wife couldn't get enough of it. She loved it. She was sending me pictures every time he was coming out of the booth or whatever was happening.
He was just jumping in and out of the suite like a maniac. But also, there's no way that guy should retire if he can still move like that.
I was about to. That was a pretty athletic getting back in.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's got years left in him. I'm telling you, but
Yep.
he's going to capitalize on their media rise and
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be in the Amazon booth next year or something. He's going to have a big gig
Oh
next
yeah.
year, and he's going to be
Oh,
great at it. But him just hammering beers while they're trying to show Taylor Swift, like the director, can you get Kelsey out of the shot? He's in the shot. We're trying to show Taylor, and he's just like drinking beers in the background.
fat belly in the back, fat hairy guy in the back. That
Oh,
was great. It was great.
it'll be the Chiefs' sixth AFC championship game in a row.
Yep. Mahomes has never not made the AFC Championship as a starter. Incredible.
He
And in a
is
year where they had problems, and it's like it's happened the last couple of years. It's like, man, I don't know. They're not the same. They don't look right. And they just keep making it, keep finding a way to win. This year did it behind I mean, obviously Mahomes was great, but their defense, helped them out a ton.
I thought that the defense has been the strength of the team this season, but I thought the offense is what went and got them this win. The defense was struggling to stop Buffalo.
Yeah, couldn't
I mean,
stop that run.
struggling. Couldn't stop the run, but dude, when you have a play like Hardman had, a catastrophic error like that, you fumble the ball through the end zone for a touchback, you normally don't win the game. And they were able to find a way. It's impressive. That atmosphere had to be insane for them to go handle all of that, walk out of there with a win. It's impressive.
I mean, it's the Buffalo from my childhood.
Mm.
The field goal situation. Just totally the worst way to lose a game and to end the season. I feel sorry for the kicker, but just make the kick. I mean, that's it. Just make the kick.
It was a bad miss too.
Bad.
It wasn't one of those, like did it go directly over the pylon or not? That thing took us hard right.
Hard right. Yeah.
And honestly, Tyler Bass kind of robbed us of an awesome Mahomes moment.
Yeah. That's not the way we wanted it to end.
No,
You don't want that game to end kneeing it out. Like that's the thing about today's games. You had two great games, but the endings just kind of went right at the the minute and a half mark.
still great. Great weekend of NFL football. All right,
And
let's
we
get
got
to
great matchups next week.
no doubt about it. All right, let's get to my winner and loser of the weekend. But first,
Elevate your tailgate with Chapel Supply and Equipment in Oklahoma City. Chapel Supply and Equipment has generators and inverters on hand that'll give you all the power you need so you can take your tailgate to the next level. They've also got top of the line heaters to keep you warm during those cold tailgates later in the season. They're Oklahoma owned and operated. Elevate your tailgate by calling 405-495-1722 or visit chapelsupply.com. That's CHAPPELL supply.com.
and attention business owners, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at Insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com.
And head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED, TED, for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
My winner of the weekend, Baltimore Ravens. Now, that first half, that was interesting. Special teams touchdown for the Texans, tied at 10 at halftime. Seemed like all the pressure was building on the Ravens, but they did what good teams do. They dominated the second half, dominated the fourth quarter. Ted, I thought Lamar Jackson was so dang good in the second half. Put the team on his back, throwing the football, but running the football. That dude is such a weapon with his legs. I I don't even know how you defend some of the stuff that they draw up. QB pin pull sweep and then throw a pop pass off of it like
Yeah.
for a touchdown. What do you do?
Yeah.
When
It's
the guy
brutal.
when the guy can run like that, they ran a play. They fake power. So they're faking power to the front side. Lamar Jackson keeps it. The tackle on the backside and on the backside tackle on power reaches and hinges. He reaches and hinges and then pulls out and is the lead blocker on what I guess you would call a boot for Lamar Jackson to touchdown. I don't know how you defend that.
Well, there's a lot of things that they do that you can't defend. Like the worst thing that usually happens is a drop back pass, and he gets to the top of the drop and just pulls it down, and before you can like blink, he's gone 10 yards upfield. It's like, I mean, it is so fast. It's crazy. And to tackle that guy out there in open space is, you're just lucky if you get a hand on him and can get his balance off and he'll go down. It's brutal. He's incredible. And, they've just got a really solid all around football team with maybe the most explosive player in the league at quarterback. That's really hard to stop.
That defense they've got, it's well documented up, at this point. That's a physical group.
Brutal.
I mean,
Brutal.
there was some hitting going on. And on the other side of things, the Texans, I think you got to be really encouraged by the season if you're a Texans fan.
Yeah.
And I thought, all things considered, that weather did not look very good. I thought CJ Stroud played well. There was pressure all around him. And I thought he handled it well. Once again, that Ravens defense is legit, man. So you got to feel pretty dang good about D'Amico Ryans in year one as the head coach. Feel like you've got your franchise guy in Stroud, and you've got Will Anderson had a heck of a rookie season as well. Like you're feeling really good. You have some of those foundational pieces if you're the Texans. A lot to be excited about, but clearly Baltimore just a much better team at this point.
Yeah, and I think that don't they still have a couple more draft picks from
The Watson?
Yeah, from that trade? I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when you look that promising, when you got a quarterback on a rookie deal, hey, the window is wide open for a championship because you can allocate a lot of capital to other guys in free agency, keeping big name guys, not letting anyone out. They're set up to have a nice little 4 or 5 year run here.
No doubt. All right, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with court storming. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I tweeted about it. I am stunned by the amount of people that are like, she's got to keep her eyes open. She's got to keep her head on a swivel. No, you don't. Those people aren't supposed to be down there. And in all seriousness, I don't know if a lot of people realize how big of a deal Caitlin Clark is. She's the biggest star in college basketball. Everywhere Iowa goes, sells out. She's got her own cereal. Like, she is an absolute gold mine. And she's also a baller. That game they lost in overtime, she had a casual 45. That's the thing that's being lost. She had 45 points in the loss.
And she's been great for, like, this isn't like last year thing. She's been great the entire time she's been there. All right. Yeah, she's definitely incredible. So is she hurt bad? Like, what's the?
I think she's fine, but She kind of spun out of it, but it's just one of those things. Court storming is already at times, kind of a hot button issue. You've got the biggest star in all of college basketball, men's or women's, fallen because they run into someone that was storming the court. It's going to lead to some serious conversations. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If she was actually hurt, could you imagine? They would sue the hell out of Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's going to be the first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
She's going
Well,
to be a star in the WNBA, like a star.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened to some degree before. Maybe it has. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, because you're responsible for the security at your own, event. And yeah, if someone like that's worth that much money got hurt out there, yeah, I would imagine there would be a lawsuit coming.
Oh, thankfully, it sounds like she's fine. And I will say this: a lot of people responding with just being rude. If it was an OU athlete, we'd be pissed. Pissed.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, not cool, man. I mean, it's not you storm the court, but just have some damn awareness and don't run into the biggest star in all of college basketball, you idiot. I like watching her play. Don't touch her. They had it. They were doing the selfie, the running selfie. Like, oh my gosh. Just steamrolls Caitlin Clark. Just ridiculous, man.
Uh,
That's funny. All right. My loser of the weekend, though, the Green Bay Packers. Missed opportunity.
Had it.
Missed opportunity. I mean, they were running it. They ran it so well on that San Francisco defense. 49ers didn't play well. Brock Purdy was off. But Jordan Love and the Packers, Ted, they just couldn't finish the job, man.
What in the hell was that throw? I mean,
I don't know. It was terrible.
Don't throw it late over the middle. Yeah, I understand the rule of thumb, but don't throw it late over the middle when the guy's surrounded by three people. He wasn't even open. Wasn't even close to being open.
The only thing that was worse than that throw was Dre Greenlaw trying to return the interception. What was he doing?
Like 10 minutes. Like sometimes you'll see a guy like make a couple of moves and then enough guys are doing this that finally he's like, okay, he goes down. No, he wasn't going down.
I had no horse in the race. I did not care who won the game. And I'm screaming, get down, get down. What are you doing? It was baffling, man. But yes, that sequence, just a brutally terrible decision from Jordan Love, only to be confounded by Drake Greenlaw. I don't know. Did he think he was going to take it back? I don't know, but it was a very interesting play to steal the win. It seems problematic that Brock Purdy just apparently can't throw the ball in the rain. Seems problematic. Now, it probably won't rain the rest of the playoffs, but when you're in the middle of your drop and it's in your head that much to where you're reaching for your towel, I've never seen that, man.
No. Brock Purdy he can make some nice throws.
For sure.
He's a talented player, but he has limitations. Like stuff like this is not new. I mean, we've been watching him for 6 years now do all kinds of weird things, right? And you're in the NFL playoffs and he's hitting guys in the chest with the football on the other team, and lucky that they weren't catching it.
You just think about the way that Mahomes looked. Complete control. He was awesome against Buffalo. Josh Allen was awesome. I mean, they ended up losing the game, but Guy was making plays. Think about how good Goff looked.
Yeah,
Accurate,
he
full
looked good.
control. And then you think about how Purdy looked. And then the impact that Lamar had. Like, you look at the 49ers, if that defense can't figure it out, they by far have the worst quarterback left.
Oh yeah,
So
and I feel like it's going to end with like one of those Brock Purdy type plays that we've seen before. The falling down, getting sacked, throw it backwards over your head
you
type of
love
play.
that. You love that play so much.
Well, I mean, it's because I always reference it because it's not like he does stuff like that often. It's his main problem. He'll play, you know, 85% of his snaps are good, solid snaps, and then 15% it's like, hey, what the hell's going on here, dude? You're surrounded by an unbelievable offensive line, the best skill position talent in the league, all assembled in one group. Just distribute the football without doing a bunch of weird, crazy stuff. That's it. If you need to eat it every now and then, eat it. Just don't lose us the game by doing crazy stuff.
Debo Samuel going out,
Yeah.
obviously significant. We'll see what that looks like for the NFC Championship game. But for the Packers, and they've invested quite a bit of draft capital in the wide receiver position the last couple of drafts, feels like they're missing a game changer.
Yeah.
Feels like they're missing a game changer. And Aaron Rodgers would probably hear that and go, yeah,
No kidding, you think?
but Devontae Adams, I I still think the craziest stat in the NFL is the fact that that win, it was the first time Kyle Shanahan had won a game as the head coach when trailing by 5 or more points entering the fourth quarter. It moved him to 1-30.
Wow.
I just an insane stat with how good they've been. They've
Quarterback.
been really good.
That's a quarterback stat. Like when you're behind late and you're one dimensional, it's on the quarterback, right? I mean, you've got to make throws. It's good. You're going to have to fit it in. You're going to have to make reads. Yeah, that's a quarterback stat right there.
We'll definitely preview it on Wednesday's episode, but initial reaction, initial reaction. Kansas City at Baltimore, Detroit at San Francisco. Baltimore's a 3.5 point favorite. San Francisco, a 7 point favorite.
Yeah, it's I, it's going to be Baltimore and Detroit.
I think
I don't.
Kansas City can go get it done. I really do. I
Yeah,
just I can't bet against Mahomes, man. I'm just not doing it. I'm not
know.
doing it. Give me Kansas City and Detroit.
I know.
Maybe my mind will change by Wednesday. We'll see.
It's hard to do. You know, I think there's a little bit. I think there's a little rust involved. Like Baltimore was a little rusty early in that first half. San Francisco looked a little rusty. I mean, I think they'll play better next week, but when Detroit's got momentum, the way they're running the football, Goff is solid, efficient. Defense, they're dangerous enough. They got to be better on the back end. But like if there's a place to like that's where Purdy would hurt you, but you're not as worried about getting hurt with it. I don't know. I like Detroit. Like San Francisco is the more talented football team, but Detroit, there's something about the momentum that they got. That's why I'm going there. And then in the AFC, I think Baltimore's the more well-rounded team, but I mean, experience and like the statistics in the playoffs don't lie. Mahomes and Kansas City are nails, and somehow they always find a way to get it done. But I guess I'll go Baltimore right now.
You sounded really convinced.